Shiches lo lo. Destruction is not from God. Banav mumam. His children are blemished. Dor ikesh upsaltal. A stubbornly perverted and twisted generation. Ha la'adonai tigmaluzais? Are you going to blame this on God? Am naval v'loy chacham? You nation that is foolish and not intelligent? Haloi hu avicha? Is he not your father? Koinecha? Your owner? Hu osecha? V'yechoneneka? He's the one who made you and the one who established you. Zechor yemos olam. Remember the days of worlds before. Binu shnos dor vador. Understand the years of all the generations before you. Sha'al avicha v'yagedcha. Ask your father, he'll explain it to you. Zikenecha, your older ones, v'yomrulach, and they'll tell you. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough, and I think it's possible that I have what to say. If somebody disagrees, I'm so open to being convinced otherwise. I understand that today's generation is just a shouting match. People just shout each other out. It's basically people gathering to their side, screaming, Trump, anti-Trump. Nobody really cares for Biden. But whenever they're just shouting their stuff, they're not really trying. I want to be convinced. I'm happy to be convinced of the truth from anybody, but I've given things a lot of consideration, a lot of thought. I think it's worthy of hearing. So here's what I wrote on Friday. I said, Israel is supposed to explain its case to the world as humans to humans do. Not as lawyers, propagandists, and billionaires do. Is this really so hard to understand? Israel comes across as repulsive to 99% of human beings because they are explaining their reasoning for killing tens of thousands of people by using the hypocritical means of institutional and personal power. Money, slogans, propaganda, lawyers, blackmail, and all of the other skins of the snake. I've made perfectly clear that I'm not opposed to killing when necessary, and to any degree necessary. Shame on this generation of Jews with resources, dor ikesh upsaltol, for their stupidity and abandonment of all the principles of our tradition. As I said during COVID-pocalypse, regret and mass denial of complicity is right around the corner. It will not be said that the person Rav Noach chose to speak for Israel around the globe remained silent. Much else will be said. It will burn. Get used to it. I'll read that again with a bit of explanation. Israel is supposed to explain its case to the world as humans to humans do. God endowed us Jews with great abilities of certain kinds. We have the ability, many of us, to relate to other strange humans better than some others can, because we do have a history of traveling the world and having to explain ourselves. We have verbal acuity that's higher than any other group in the world according to IQ scores. We need to engage with the world, explain things to the world, discuss with the world, as humans to humans do, not as lawyers, propagandists, and billionaires do. Who gives a, and with my Bible open, who gives a damn what some guy named Ackerman or something, some billionaire hedge fund guy, the fact that he's able to get the Harvard president fired and he's able to, what? Is that really the way? Is lawyering really the way? Is this, it doesn't even have to be said. That's why I said afterwards, is this really so hard to understand? Question mark, exclamation point. Israel comes across as repulsive to 99% of human beings. Not to 99% of humanity. Most people don't really know or care or whatever, and their decisions about how they feel are based on other things. But to regular individual humans, because Israel is explaining their reasoning for killing tens of thousands of people, not an insignificant number of people, by using the hypocritical means of institutional and personal power. You can't make a moral case by saying, I have more money so I can afford a better lawyer. That's how America runs. And that's pure evil, the best justice that money can buy. It's horrible. It's disgusting. Institutional power, personal power, these are hypocrisies. This is not the way that you deal. This is not how you act morally. This is not how you bring about a more moral or safer world or a better world for yourself. Money, slogans, propaganda, lawyers, and then in parentheses, blackmail. You can see the very, very first video that I put up here is when I accidentally walked into Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. And I actually seem to have run into a Mossad agent there. Not run into, he kind of chased. Watch the video, you'll see. But the second video is my very public defense in front of the whole world of Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, who was being harassed by the reporters from whom everybody is getting their story out. The people who are working for us, the reporters. I'm not afraid of anybody or anything. I speak the truth as best I understand it. Not with slogans, with lengthy videos. Money, slogans, propaganda, lawyers, blackmail, and all the other skins of the snake. I have made perfectly clear that I am not opposed to killing when necessary. And then I wrote in bold, to any degree necessary. After which I linked to the video, which is called, I think right now it's called Must Watch Full Video, the Adidya 3-point plan for Israel. The 3-point plan is simple. 1, from Israel, from the river to the sea, Israel for you and me. 2, give peace a chance. 3, kill everything that moves. Once we have explained ourselves to the world, once we have made our offer to the world, once we have gone as far as we can to give peace a chance, not by being a pushover, not by Israeli leftist nonsense, but with the willingness to defend ourselves by any means necessary, then of course kill anything that moves. Kill anybody who is not among the good people, who is not among those who have decided to, kill anyone you have to. Because people were saying that I was a peacenik or a leftist. How could people misunderstand me so grandly? Easily. They don't watch the complete videos, or their hearts are hardened against understanding. Shame on this generation of Jews with resources, capitalize J, capitalize R. Shame on this generation of Jews with, capitalize W too, Jews with resources. Jews who are not fleeing for their lives with the shirt on their back, who actually have abilities, who could easily throw enough money my way or give me enough help, institutional, any other kind of help, to be able to at least reach an audience so that we can see if people are open to being convinced or not. Shame on this generation of Jews with resources for their stupidity, wanton stupidity, and abandonment of all the principles of our tradition. As I said during COVID-apocalypse, and I don't mean to get sidetracked here, but this applies to most people who are listening, not to everybody. But as I said during COVID-apocalypse, regret and mass denial of complicity is right around the corner. I saw it. I understood it. I teach history. I study history. I can't really say much more than that. I said it will not be said that the person Rav Noach chose to speak for Israel around the globe remained silent. Rav Noach is Rabbi Noach Weinberg, whom I mentioned at the very, very beginning of the video a few days ago, that's called I Have Not Given Up and Neither Should You. Rav Noach Weinberg had me, personally, speaking around the world on Israel's behalf. He trusted me, personally. He's not alive anymore, but the people that I addressed here, they knew him, and if they have any respect for him, they would take that into account. At the very, very, very least, they would agree to have a public videoed conversation with me, and I'd be open. I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'd be completely open to hearing where I think they might be wrong, while completely standing my ground where I think that I'm right, of course, and trying to convince somebody where I think I'm right. That is literally the very least that anybody who ever knew Rav Noach could do. It will not be said that the person Rav Noach chose to speak for Israel around the globe remains silent. Much else will be said, and it will, and people will deny their complicity. They will point to something they said, I'm not so sure about Israel. Don't you see What Israel is doing is terrible. Not necessarily the killing, but as part of what they're doing. Again, if killing is necessary, I will do the killing. I really will. I believe it is necessary to the smallest degree possible if my three-point plan is followed. It will burn, and it will burn. It will burn. As far as I know, I don't have children. Most of them do have children. And their children will look to them. Their children whom they are leading astray right now. It will burn. They will burn with shame for not having listened right now. And I said, get used to it. I don't like writing any of that. I don't like sharing any of that. But it's necessary. And as of this point, my plan is the rest of the week, I hope not to do much more of that. It's so, as you can probably tell by everything about how I'm tense at this point. I really don't like controversy. But that's why I finished this point. And for the rest of the week, I'll just speak, from the absolute essential harshness of the prophets, just reading their words, explaining their words, and separately, pure comedy of the least reverent sort, because that too is necessary in our world. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and if you subscribe, you should know that YouTube does not share my videos for the most part, so please make sure to hit the notifications button. That's how my videos will show up on your YouTube page. Be blessed, and I hope you leave a comment. I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you get involved. I'm not really here to entertain, and I don't really get any particular honor, per se, from knowing that people are watching. It doesn't do anything for me personally. So I really do hope you get involved. And if you do want to get involved and join this group after I weed out the people who are, for whatever reason, not being helpful, then I would absolutely love to have you in our community. God bless you. Let me add one light point, one serious point. The light point is the glasses. I thought they'd be good both for comedic reasons and for prophetic reasons. I didn't factor in that there would be the glare from the lights all around and from the camera itself. The second thing is more serious, and that is there is a word hasbara. Hasbara literally means explanation. And I was very heavily involved, thanks to Rabbi Noach Weinberg, in hasbara. As a matter of fact, Israel subsequently, in the early 2000s, utilized a great deal of my speeches and writings for their official explanation. Unfortunately, the word hasbara has taken on a connotation that I thought was unfair. It was among anti-Semites and whatnot as propaganda, because certainly what I was doing was not propaganda. I went to audiences that were both friendly and the most unfriendly possible. And I completely, openly, without backing off what I think is true, but at the same time being open-minded and open-hearted and listening to what other people had to say, I think that I was as honest and sincere as somebody could be. That's hasbara as I understand it. But today, it kind of is propaganda. It's, it's huge campaigns. It's entire offices full of people. It's group testing. What do they call it? One-way mirror, one-way glass, right? Where they have a whole bunch of people and they say, which one works better for you? How does this make you feel? What kind of bullshit is that? We are intended to be humans here on this earth.